their place in the Super 4. Afghanistan is going to be extremely disappointed with their performance. We are back at Cricket Buzz Live to discuss all this and much more. I have Rohan Gavaskar and Murli Karthik. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We know we wanted it to be a good game of cricket. That first innings, Nabi gave us all that excitement, but Sri Lanka came out. They were very calm, very composed. Everyone came out, chipped in. So just a perfect day for Sri Lanka today.
100%. I mean, other than those 2 overs when they were fielded, the 19th and 20th over, you've got to say this is the perfect game for Sri Lanka. They were dominant for the first 18 overs when they fielded, and when they batted, throughout that 18.4, not for a minute did it look like they were in trouble. Lots of credit to Kusal Mendes and the way he played, the experience of Kusal Mendes. Kamindu Mendes also towards the end, excellent cameo. When you look at the scorecard again, I mean, if you haven't seen the game and you have a look at the scorecard, the big difference is in the Sri Lankan batting scorecard, there was only one batter who went at a strike rate of less than 140. While with Afghanistan, it was the exact opposite. They were, the batters struggled, and only it was Nabi towards the end who got them to that 169 score. So the batting was where, Sri Lanka were much stronger.
But Karthik, they just looked like the more dominant side. They were calm. They didn't look like they were, at any point feeling like this game was going away from them. They had everything under control.
Look, I would say that they were helped to a great extent by some real poor bowling. I'll be blunt and say that. Because you cannot have 3 bowlers going at 12 runs and over. That's too many bowlers to carry. On a day, the odd one can have an off day. You can't have 3 bowlers. 3 primary bowlers having an off day. Noor, Omarzai, not Omarzai, I'm saying Farooqi. Farooqi just started poorly, finished poorly. Think of Mujibur Rahman going at nearly 12 runs and over. Doesn't help. You think of the other 3. Hazmatullah Omarzai, I don't know why he was used after that, because he bowled reasonably well. Mohammad Nabi got that breakthrough, getting that left-hander. Rashid Khan tried. But you could just look at the stark contrast. 6.67 and 5.75, and take the combined economy of the other 3, 12 runs and over.
But what was it? Do you think it was pressure?
I don't know what it was. They were just bowling wayward. There is, what do you say for wayward bowling? You can't bowl 1 in, 1 out, 1 down the leg, 1 outside. A captain is going to tear his head out.
Yes.
Literally. What do? You can see, we spoke during the comm box. Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi, I think if they were allowed, they would have gone and punched a few. That was the kind of rage you could see on their face. What do? You've got experienced bowlers. Noor had to shore up. Noor was going at 12s and bowling all over the place. We spoke about Farooqi. You're the lone seamer who's the senior seamer. You're allowing the batters to get away. Then what do? Once you get away to a start, then you're only playing catch-up and you're trying to only put a few bandages here and there. So I would say very, very, very poor bowling from Afghanistan, which allowed Sri Lanka to come back. Otherwise, with that kind of bowling, we've been raving about their bowling. We've been talking about their bowling, that this is a bowling lineup on this track, on any track, the varied attack, and then it was all varied.
Rohan, we made them the second best Asian team. We Karthik
even in the bowling, we said the second best bowling lineup.
Yes. Yeah. So do you think it was just an off day, or do you think maybe the pressure of having this must win was kind of playing on the bowlers' minds?
Well, you can't write off an off day when you've lost 2 games. You've lost to Bangladesh, you've lost to Sri Lanka over here. So it's not an off day. It's not a good tournament for Afghanistan, considering the fact that, we've all said second best team, etc. So I don't think it's a tournament that we'd like to forget as soon as possible. But while you forget a tournament like that, you've got to try and see what are the areas you can improve. Yes, one might be a pressure situation. Can we handle the pressure? Again, in today's game, you look at Fazaluk Farooqi. He's such an experienced campaigner. Okay, he's not had the best of tournaments, but again, the first over set the tempo. Then you've got someone like Noor Ahmed.
It's been a while as well.
It's been a while. And then you look at someone like Noor Ahmed. We talk about Noor Ahmed and say, oh, is he now going to take over from Rashid Khan? That's the kind of build-up you're giving Noor Ahmed. And rightly so. It's because we've seen in the past he's performed, he's delivered, and he's been one of their star bowlers. He went for runs. Now, as Catty was saying, Fazaluk Farooqi is the lone seam bowler. The spearhead of the fast bowling department. He's gone for runs. So in a sense, the senior bowler, and then Noor Ahmed, another stellar performer. When that happens, that 169 target, which we thought was going to be an extremely stiff target, turned out to be a very easy target for Sri Lanka.
And like Karthik saying, it was just wayward bowling because they were bowling down the leg, they were bowling wides on the off stump, so it was all over the place. So it was not like they stuck to a plan at all.
No plan, and like Karthik also said, what does a captain do over here? You tear your hair. You're thinking, listen, I've given you a plan, I've set a field according to what we think we should be doing, and it's just not working. Can happen at times to a bowler, but when it happens to three bowlers, it's, well, what do you do? I mean,
well, we saw Jonathan
more than 50% of the overs bowled, and that's the case with the bowlers.
5 and 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
Three bowlers, you look at it, maybe 5.5 and 12. And then add to that the kind of fielding. We saw Sadiqul Atal 15-20 yards inside. It's easier to run in, never easy to run behind. And those are straightforward chances. Those are the ways you come back into the game. Yeah. Those are the ways you help your bowler. So, too many mistakes to count today. And no wonder Jonathan Trott doesn't have any hair.
We saw him with those expressions. He was really, really upset, especially that catch, the Atal catch, which was dropped. But 16 extras as well. That's almost 3 sixes. Of Nabi.
Yeah, and you think of 3 6 of Nabi, you're right, because that's the difference. But you've got to, I mean, okay, yes, it just eases things out, but along with the extras, it's everything. The whole package combined today, when they fielded, they just wanted it. Look, Sri Lanka, like I said, when Sri Lanka fielded for 18 overs, Sri Lanka won top. It was only the last 2 overs in that blitzkrieg of from 120 to 169 that gave this score a competitive edge. But you've got to doff your hat out to Sri Lanka and say they were by far the better team today. So the most deserving team won.
Yes. Also, Karthik, we were talking about how Sri Lanka, were a little bit, they had a tendency of having those mini collapses. But today, clearly, they came out. Even though Nissanka got out early, we saw the Mendes square come in and do what was required. We saw even the captain of Sri Lanka chipping in with 17 of 12. Kusal Perera getting 28. So everyone chipping in, which is what the team wants.
Yeah, very much so. And when they needed it, look, because Kusal Mendes was the linchpin over there. He's 74 or 52, he looked very dominant. And think of the others, they all came in and had that mini 140, 150, chipped in with those kind of contributions, which makes a huge difference. You need small contributions, but important and telling contributions. And also just think of, we all come back to the Afghanistan bowling, just think of Noor Ahmed. We spoke about him, we lavished praise on him. He didn't even finish his quota of 4, but he bowled 9 wides. And I think that is the maximum by any bowler in the history of T20 in Asia Cup. So not their day. But again, you have to give credit where it's due. You could have thought that Sri Lanka could have gone flat after the blitzkrieg, which Rohan spoke about, but they came back strongly. They came back with a plan. And yeah, again, I'll come back to the same thing. Sometimes you can have all the plans, but if you're helped by the opposition bowlers and the opposition fielders, then it makes things doubly easier. Kusal Mendes, I thought, batted beautifully. There was a lot more fluency to his batting today. Unfortunately, Nissanka went early, but Kusal Perera, once again, somebody who can literally take the attack to the opposition. He's got very, very similar to Sanat Jayasuriya, the wristiness. He came in when I think the left-hander at Kamil Mishara had fallen, and then after the first ball, played a lovely little sweep shot. That tells you his confidence against a nice delivery from Mohammad Nabi. So again, they never allowed the pressure to come back onto them. So that was good from Sri Lanka. And again, sometimes the mistakes that you've made in the previous games, and again, I'll come back to the same thing. Very rarely do you have perfect games, but you can actually correct the mistakes that you've made. And especially going into the competition, if you're talking about peaking at the right time, making the right noises at the right time, I think Sri Lanka will be extremely happy that they're qualifying in such a convincing fashion.
Dominant manner.
And what they'll also be very happy about is someone's raising their hand when needed. We've seen Nissanka with those 2 half centuries.
Yeah.
Today, Mendes came up,
Yeah.
74 runs. So he's played that knock when it was required. When Nissanka got out, he said, all right, I'll steady the ship.
Yeah.
Great knock today, 74.
Unbelievable. I mean, you look at that, 10 fours in that innings of 74, striking of 142. And these are numbers which in a sense don't tell you how he controlled this chase and how he controlled the innings. Because normally you look at a striker of 142 and you say, yeah, okay, it would have been a good innings, not a spectacular innings. But in the context of the game and the context of the chase, I thought it was a spectacular innings.
Also very smart. We were talking about the 1s and 2s, which we saw in this knock, which just sometimes go so unnoticed, but that's what kind of builds a good innings.
Yeah, very much so. Absolutely well said, Saimi, because when you bat well, when you stitch together an innings, you also look at what you've done, apart from the boundaries that you've hit. And also the boundaries that he hit. There are times where the bowlers do present. We did say that the Afghanistan bowlers did present, but you also have to cash in on that. You have to put away the loose balls. Just take yesterday, Saim Ayub was presented with a wide ball, but he hit it straight to third man. That can happen in T20 cricket. But the way Kusal played, putting away the bad balls and then running hard. Every time he had a partner, he did take those singles and never allowed pressure. And that's what you want in a game like this against an opposition like Afghanistan. So we'll be extremely happy. We saw a very subdued Sanat Jayasuriya. Yes. You mentioned his emotions when Velalage was getting hit. But when they were chasing, you saw a very subdued Sanat Jayasuriya who was pretty happy with the way his wards actually chased this down.
Also, Rohan, just a perfect way to get into the Super 4 as well, because you want this confidence, you want a dominant win getting into the Super 4.
But like I said earlier, this was a game where, Karthik said not many are perfect games, but this was as close in a sense because your bowlers did really well and then your batters, as you said, someone or the other stood up. So, dominant performance, extremely convincing win. You've gone into the Super 4s saying, you can't take us lightly in the Super 4s.
Well, it almost feels like the childhood once again because India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh are through. We will have a look at that points table because Sri Lanka have won 3 in 3 and they have gone in. And because of Sri Lanka's win, Bangladesh gets that Q next to their name. There'll be a lot of happy Bangladeshi fans who were obviously watching this this match because they knew that it was right.
But they're passionate fans.
They were there at the venue as well, wearing their Bangladesh jersey, and as soon as the winning runs were scored, they were jumping in joy. So
two countries were celebrating today, but it is great news for Bangladesh as well. They couldn't qualify on their own merit, but they did finally qualify, which is what matters. And now they'll want to make the most of this opportunity, Rohan.
Well, Bangladesh?
Yes.
Well, absolutely. And look, we keep talking about, the passion that their fans have. And I've experienced it firsthand because I've been to Dhaka, played club cricket there. So, and I've got a lot of Bangladeshi friends. So I've experienced that passion that they have for the game firsthand. So I'm really happy for the fans. But now that they've gotten, and like you said, it's like a bit going back 10, 15 years where it's India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Bangladesh will also be saying, look, they'll put their hands up. And they say, we haven't played our best cricket up until now. But here's a chance to redeem ourselves. We've been playing test cricket since 2001. I think 2001 or 2003. 2001, Sabah Karim's test debut. So look, we've been playing test cricket for 25 years. We've now got to show what a good side we are. Because they have talent. They've not played up to potential in the league stages. But now they've got an opportunity. And sometimes, look, when your backs are to the wall and everyone's sort of written you off, that should bring out the best in them. And hopefully we'll see a really, really competitive Bangladesh team.
Yeah, Crickbuzz has a whole lot of Bangladeshi fans. So congratulations to all the Bangladeshi fans who are up watching us at Crick Buzz. We really, really like the passion that you all come here and watch us with.
And you should also tell them that when we talk about Bangladesh, there's nothing against Bangladesh. It's just that everybody wants Bangladesh to do better because of the talent.
Because of the potential they have.
Yeah, and the fact that they've been around for a much longer time. Everybody will say, see, you guys keep saying that Afghanistan is leapfrogged us and all that. We have qualified.
It's a hat-trick of wins for Sri Lanka as they have cemented their place in the Super 4. Afghanistan is going to be extremely disappointed with their performance. We are back at Crick Buzz Live to discuss all this and much more. I have Rohan Gavaskar and Murli Karthik. Welcome, welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We know we wanted it to be a good game of cricket. That first innings, Nabi gave us all that excitement, but Sri Lanka came out. They were very calm, very composed. Everyone came out, chipped in. So just a perfect day for Sri Lanka today.
100%. I mean, other than those 2 overs when they were fielded, the 19th and 20th over, you've got to say this is the perfect game for Sri Lanka. They were dominant for the first 18 overs when they fielded, and when they batted throughout that 18.4, not for a minute it looked like they were in trouble. Lots of credit to Kusal Mendes and the way he played, the experience of Kusal Mendes. Kamindu Mendes also towards the end, excellent cameo. When you look at the scorecard again, I mean, if you haven't seen the game and you have a look at the scorecard, the big difference is in the Sri Lankan batting scorecard, there was only one batter who went at a strike rate of less than 140. While with Afghanistan, it was the exact opposite. They were, the batters struggled, and only it was Nabi towards the end who got them to that 169 score. So the batting was where, Sri Lanka were much stronger.
But Karthik, they just looked like the more dominant side. They were calm. They didn't look like they were, at any point feeling like this game was going away from them. They had everything under control.
Look, I would say that they were helped to a great extent by some real poor bowling. I'll be blunt and say that. Because you cannot have 3 bowlers going at 12 runs and over. That's too many bowlers to carry. On a day, the odd one can have an off day. You can't have 3 bowlers, 3 primary bowlers having an off day. Noor, Omarzai, not Omarzai, I'm saying Farooqi. Farooqi just started poorly, finished poorly. Think of Mujibur Rahman going at nearly 12 runs and over. Doesn't help. You think of the other 3. Hazmatullah Omarzai, I don't know why he was used after that, because he bowled reasonably well. Mohammad Nabi got that breakthrough, getting that left-hander. Rashid Khan tried. But you could just look at the stark contrast. 6.67 and 5.75 and take the combined economy of the other 3, 12 runs and over.
But what was it? Do you think it was pressure?
I don't know what it was. They were just bowling wayward. There is, what do you say for wayward bowling? You can't bowl one in, one